Success doesn't wait for comfort, it waits for commitment. Every dream, every goal, every victory ever achieved by a human being was born in discomfort. Comfort kills ambition. Comfort whispers that you can rest, that you can do it later, that you've already done enough. But success has no patience for that voice. It rewards the ones who are willing to trade their ease for effort, their comfort for consistency, their hesitation for hunger. When you want to rise higher, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You can't stay in the same space doing the same things, expecting different results. The grind demands more. The journey will test you, stretch you, and sometimes even break you. But that's what commitment looks like. Commitment is not a feeling, it's a decision. Feelings fade, but decisions define your future. You won't always feel motivated, but if you're committed, you'll still show up. You'll still push forward when no one's clapping for you, when nobody believes in your dream, when the world tells you to quit. That's when success starts paying attention. It watches how you act when things don't go your way. It studies how you respond when the doors don't open the first time. It looks at how you handle rejection, disappointment, and doubt. Success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most committed. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you're not willing to work through pain, failure, and uncertainty, that potential dies where it stands. There will always be people who talk about what they're going to do someday. Someday they'll start their business. Someday they'll get serious about their dreams. Someday they'll change their lives. But someday is the most dangerous word in the dictionary because it keeps you stuck in comfort. Commitment doesn't wait for someday, it acts now. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment, it creates it. You have to be willing to say, I'm going all in. Even when you're scared, even when you're tired, even when you don't see the full path ahead. That's what separates winners from wishers. When you look at successful people, don't just see their results, see their sacrifices. See the nights they stayed up grinding while others were sleeping. See the risks they took when everyone doubted them. See the courage it took to keep believing in themselves when there was no proof they'd win. That's commitment. Success isn't impressed by talk, it's impressed by consistency. It's not how loud you speak, it's how long you stay in the fight. Every step you take in discomfort is a vote for your future self. Every time you push past fear, you earn a new level of strength. There's a reason most people don't make it. They don't stay committed long enough. They quit when it gets hard, they fold when it gets uncomfortable, they back down when pressure rises. But the truth is, pressure doesn't destroy you, it reveals you. When life turns up the heat, it's testing your commitment. Are you going to stand firm or run back to comfort? The ones who rise are those who decide that quitting is not an option. They don't wait for the right mood, they move with purpose. They don't wait for support, they start with what they have. Commitment is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. You can dream big, but if you're not committed, those dreams stay in your head. Every day you delay, you drift further from your purpose. You have to wake up and remind yourself why you started. You have to keep showing up even when progress feels slow, because success doesn't reward speed, it rewards stamina. It rewards those who can stay consistent through chaos, who can keep going when motivation dies. Discomfort is the price of greatness. Every rep in the gym, every late night at the desk, every no, you turn into fuel. It's all part of the process. There's no shortcut, no cheat code, no easy way out. You've got to be willing to do what others won't. You've got to be willing to walk alone sometimes, to hear the laughter of doubters and keep walking anyway. That's what commitment sounds like. It's silent, steady, and unstoppable. The grind isn't glamorous. There will be days when you feel invisible, when nobody notices your effort, when your results seem miles away. But that's when you build character. That's when you develop the discipline that comfort can never give you. Discipline is doing what you said you would do, long after the mood has left you. Success doesn't show up in one big moment. It shows up in small daily actions done with relentless commitment. The world belongs to those who refuse to settle. Comfort is for people who have given up on growth. Every time you choose comfort, you choose to stay the same. Every time you choose commitment, you move closer to becoming who you're meant to be. You have to decide which one you want more, the ease of today or the success of tomorrow. Because you can't have both, success will always demand a trade. It will ask you to give up something, your excuses, your laziness, your comfort, and if you're truly committed, you'll pay that price without hesitation. Most people want the reward, but not the work. They want the lifestyle, but not the late nights. They want the applause, but not the process. But commitment means falling in love with the process, even when it's painful. It means trusting that every struggle is shaping you into something stronger. It means believing that your grind has value even before it pays off. Comfort feels good now, but costs you later. Commitment hurts now, but pays you forever. Every legend you've ever admired was once uncomfortable. They were scared. They were unsure, but they stayed committed. They didn't wait for things to get easy. They got stronger. They didn't wait for luck. They created opportunity through effort. They understood that success respects sacrifice, not softness. You can't comfort your way to greatness. You have to commit your way there. So when it gets tough, don't pull back. Push harder. When your mind tells you to quit, remind yourself why you started. When it hurts, that's when you're growing. The struggle is the signal that you're on the right path. The pain is proof that you're moving forward. Success doesn't care how you feel, it cares how you fight. Comfort is temporary, but commitment is forever. And the person who stays committed long enough will always outlast the person who just feels motivated. If you don't chase your goals, your excuses will chase you. Life has a way of holding you accountable for what you don't do. Every time you put off your dream, every time you tell yourself not now, every time you let fear decide for you, your excuses get stronger, your confidence gets weaker, and your dream gets smaller. You can't escape the truth that if you're not moving towards something, you're moving away from it. The moment you stop chasing your goals, your excuses start chasing you. They whisper that you're tired, that you're not ready, that you're not good enough. But excuses are liars dressed as comfort. They sound reasonable, they feel safe, but their purpose is to keep you average. You were not born to be average. You were not born to drift through life making excuses for why things didn't work out. You were built with potential, with power, with purpose. But potential without pursuit turns into regret. Every excuse you make today becomes a wall tomorrow. It becomes a barrier between you and the person you could have been. And here's the truth. Nobody is coming to remove those walls for you. You have to break them yourself. You have to get tired of your own excuses, tired of waiting, tired of being stuck, tired of watching others live the life you keep saying you want. The difference between people who make it and people who don't isn't opportunity, it's ownership. The ones who win stop blaming circumstances, luck, or timing. They look at themselves and say, if it's going to happen, it's up to me. That's the moment the chase begins. That's the moment you stop running from your excuses and start running toward your destiny. Life doesn't reward wishful thinking. It rewards those who take responsibility and act, no matter how uncomfortable it is. You can't control everything, but you can control your effort. You can control your consistency. You can control how many times you get back up after falling. Excuses feel good in the moment because they remove the pressure of responsibility. But they steal your future one day at a time. You say, I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. Before you know it, Time has moved and you haven't. You keep explaining why you can't instead of proving that you can. The harsh truth is that every excuse you make has a cost. It costs you time, it costs you confidence, it costs you dreams. The longer you hold on to excuses, the further you drift from your purpose. Every successful person you see had 1,000 chances to make excuses, and they didn't take them. They had bad days, failures, pain, doubt, and fear, but they chased their goals anyway. They understood that success doesn't care about your reasons, it cares about your results. Excuses don't build legacies. They don't pay bills, they don't inspire anyone. Action does, effort does, consistency does. When you're chasing your goals, you don't have time to make excuses because you're too busy creating progress. Sometimes people say they're waiting for the right time, but the right time doesn't exist. The right time is when you decide. Waiting only strengthens your excuses. The more you delay, the more your mind starts believing the lies you tell yourself. I can't do it now. It's too late. I don't have what it takes. But your excuses don't define your limits. Your effort does. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones with perfect conditions. They're the ones who start where they are and use what they have. They chase their goals even when they don't feel ready. Excuses will chase you with the weight of regret. They'll remind you of every chance you didn't take, every time you played it safe, every dream you let die. And regret is heavy. It keeps you awake at night, wondering what could have been, but there's a way out. The moment you decide to move, the moment you stop justifying inaction and start taking steps, you start outrunning those excuses. The faster you chase your goals, the quieter your doubts become. The moment you start doing, you stop overthinking. Action kills excuses faster than anything else. When you make excuses, you're giving your power away. You're telling life that circumstances are stronger than you. But when you chase your goals, you take that power back. You remind yourself that you are in control of your choices, your time, and your destiny. It doesn't matter how small the step is as long as you're moving. Forward motion builds momentum, and momentum builds belief. Once you get a taste of progress, it becomes addictive. You realize that the same energy you use to make excuses can be used to change your life. Excuses will always find you, but so will opportunity. The question is, which one are you chasing? Opportunity doesn't stick around for hesitation. It knocks for a moment, then moves to the next person who's ready. If you keep waiting for the perfect chance, someone else who's less qualified but more committed will take it. Life doesn't give trophies for intentions. It gives them for execution. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to have the courage to start. The chase itself teaches you what you need to know. You can't run from your goals forever. They'll keep calling you, showing up in your thoughts, pulling at your heart, reminding you that you're made for more. But if you ignore that call long enough, your excuses will drown it out. They'll become louder than your dreams. That's why you have to move now. You have to make the decision that no excuse will ever outrun your effort. You have to become obsessed with your goals to the point where excuses can't keep up. Because the moment you stop chasing your goals, your excuses start chasing you, and they never get tired. Discipline pays bills, laziness collects regret. It's simple. It's direct, and it's true. Discipline is the silent power that separates dreamers from doers, the committed from the comfortable, the winners from the watchers. You can have all the talent in the world, all the ideas, all the ambition, but if you don't have discipline, none of it will matter. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your reality. It's what gets you up when you don't feel like moving. It's what keeps you grinding when the motivation fades. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Every successful person you admire lives by discipline. They wake up early not because they feel like it, but because their goals demand it. They don't scroll endlessly on their phones. They use that time to study, plan, build, and grow. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about purpose. It's the decision to prioritize what you want most over what you want now. Laziness always offers comfort in the moment, but it always charges interest later. The cost of laziness is regret, and regret doesn't go away easily. It follows you, it haunts you, and it reminds you that you could have done more. People think success is about luck, but luck doesn't pay bills. Discipline does. Luck might give you an opportunity, but only discipline will help you keep it. Discipline is showing up every day even when you're tired, even when you don't see immediate results, even when nobody's watching. Because you understand that consistency compounds. One disciplined day turns into a disciplined week, then a disciplined year, and before you know it, your entire life transforms. Laziness, on the other hand, eats away at your potential little by little. It convinces you that one day off won't hurt, one missed goal won't matter, one skipped step won't make a difference. But it does. The truth is, lazy habits don't show their damage right away. They're sneaky. They hide behind comfort, entertainment, and excuses, but every lazy decision adds up. Every time you choose comfort over commitment, you lose momentum, and when momentum dies, so does progress. You start to feel stuck, frustrated, and lost, not realizing that you built your own cage with your choices. Discipline sets you free, laziness locks you in. Discipline gives you control over your time, your habits, and your future. Laziness gives control to your circumstances, your moods, and your distractions. You can't build a strong life on weak habits. Discipline is the foundation that supports everything else. It's what makes you reliable, consistent, and focused. You don't need to be the smartest or the most talented person in the room if you're the most disciplined. Because discipline beats talent when talent doesn't show up. Talent gives you a head start, but discipline keeps you in the race. The ones who rise are the ones who show up every single day, no matter how they feel. They don't let emotions decide their actions. They let commitment lead the way. Discipline means doing what's necessary even when it's not exciting. It's repeating the small, boring steps that build greatness. It's practicing when no one's watching. It's saying no to distractions, no to procrastination, no to instant gratification. The world today is addicted to quick results and easy wins, but discipline teaches patience. It teaches you to play the long game, to invest time and energy into something that won't pay off immediately, but will pay off massively later. The lazy mindset looks for shortcuts, but shortcuts create setbacks. Every time you try to cheat the process, you cheat yourself. Laziness is expensive. It costs you opportunities, relationships, confidence, and peace of mind. It might feel easy now, but it always comes with a price later. Every time you choose to stay in bed when you should be working, every time you avoid effort, you're creating future pain. That pain shows up when you see someone else living the life you wanted, when you realize time has passed and you've barely moved. Regret doesn't knock politely. It breaks in and takes over your thoughts. It's the reminder that discipline could have given you what laziness took away. There's nothing glamorous about discipline at first. It's uncomfortable, repetitive, and demanding, but over time it builds character, it builds confidence, it builds success. When you train your mind to obey your goals instead of your emotions, you become unstoppable. You start to understand that discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about being persistent. It's about getting up every time you fall and refusing to quit. You start to crave progress more than comfort. You stop looking for motivation and start relying on your habits, because habits built on discipline create freedom. Freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from having control over yourself. When you're disciplined, you can trust yourself. You know you'll do what you said you would, even when it's hard. That's power. That's integrity. Laziness takes that away. Laziness trains you to break promises to yourself. It teaches you to settle for less, to live below your potential, to accept mediocrity as normal. It tricks you into thinking you have time, but time is slipping through your fingers every day you delay. Discipline respects time, laziness wastes it. You don't have to be extreme, but you do have to be consistent. Small disciplined actions performed daily build massive results over time. You don't need to work 24 hours a day. You just need to show up every single day with intention. Even a small step forward is better than standing still. Every moment of effort counts. Every disciplined choice moves you closer to stability, success, and self-respect. Because at the end of the day, discipline pays bills. Not just the financial ones, but the emotional and spiritual ones too. It gives you peace, pride, and power. Discipline is self, love in motion. It's choosing what's best for you over what's easiest for you. It's proving to yourself that you can trust your own word. It's building a future that your lazy self could never handle. Laziness will always try to convince you that you deserve rest when you haven't earned it, that you can try later, that someone else has it easier. But those are just lies. There's no way around the truth. You get what you work for, not what you wish for. And if you're not willing to put in the work, be ready to pay the price of regret. Because discipline pays bills, but laziness will always collect regrets. Dreams sound good until the alarm clock rings. Everyone loves to talk about success, about goals, about the future they see for themselves. It's easy to imagine the mansion, the cars, the applause, the freedom. It's easy to dream when you're comfortable, when you're inspired, when you're scrolling through motivation and everything feels possible. But when that alarm clock rings, when it's time to actually get up and do the work, that's when you find out who really wants it and who only talks about it. Dreams don't work unless you do. Inspiration feels good, but discipline pays off. The alarm clock doesn't care about your feelings, your excuses, or your plans. It only asks, are you ready? Every dream begins in your imagination, but it's built in reality. Reality is early mornings, late nights, frustration, rejection, exhaustion, sacrifice. It's the grind nobody sees, the moments when you have to push yourself out of bed when your body wants to quit. Dreams die every day because people fall back asleep, literally and mentally. They dream big at night, but sleep through their opportunities in the morning. The alarm clock is a test. It separates those who say they want it from those who prove they want it. Because the truth is, success starts the moment you stop hitting snooze. The dream feels exciting when you talk about it, but the work feels heavy when you face it. That's why most people don't make it. They fall in love with the vision, but not the process. They love the idea of being successful, but hate the effort it takes to get there. The alarm clock exposes that. It asks, will you trade your comfort for your calling? And most people won't. They choose sleep over sacrifice, rest over rise, comfort over commitment. They don't realize that every extra minute of sleep costs them opportunity. Time doesn't wait for dreamers, it rewards doers. When the alarm clock rings, you're faced with a choice. Stay asleep and keep dreaming, or wake up and start building. Dreams without action are just fantasies. They make you feel good for a moment, but change nothing in your life. Action is what turns those dreams into something real. Every morning you wake up is a new chance to move closer to your goals. But if you keep sleeping through your purpose, you'll wake up years later wondering where your life went. You'll see others living the life you talked about and realize that you both had the same 24 hours. But they answered their alarm and you ignored yours. That alarm doesn't just represent time. It represents responsibility. It's your reminder that no one else is coming to live your dream for you. Nobody is going to do your work. chase your goals, or fight your battles. You can't delegate your destiny. You can't sleep your way into success. You can't wish your way into wealth. The alarm clock is your accountability partner, your truth teller. It forces you to face whether you're serious or just pretending. You can't lie to yourself when that alarm rings. You either get up or you don't. Every great achievement in history started with someone who got up when they didn't feel like it. The difference between average and exceptional is found in those early hours, in those moments when nobody's watching. When it's cold, when it's quiet, when your bed feels too comfortable, that's where greatness is built. The alarm clock separates the talkers from the workers, the dreamers from the doers, the comfortable from the committed. Most people want the reward without the routine, but you can't get to the top without climbing. You can't expect to shine if you're not willing to sweat. You say you want a better life, more success, more freedom, but are you willing to do what it takes? The alarm clock doesn't care about your words, it cares about your actions. You can post quotes, you can talk about ambition, but if you're not willing to get up and move, you're fooling yourself. Dreams are beautiful, but they demand a price. That price is effort, sacrifice, and consistency. The moment you stop working, your dream starts dying. The moment you choose sleep over progress, you tell the universe you're not serious. There's a reason the world belongs to early risers, not because they're special, but because they're disciplined. They understand that success isn't built in one day, it's built daily. Every morning you beat the alarm, you're building character. You're building mental toughness, self-respect, and resilience. You're proving to yourself that your goals matter more than your comfort. You're programming your mind to push through resistance, because if you can conquer the morning, you can conquer the day. The sound of that alarm might be annoying, but it's the sound of opportunity. It's life reminding you that you still have a chance to change, to grow, to fight for what you want. It's not just a clock, it's a call. A call to purpose, to action, to responsibility. And every time you hit snooze, you silence that call. You tell your future, not today. But the truth is, one not today easily turns into a lifetime of missed chances. Success doesn't happen in one big moment. It happens in those small, quiet moments when you decide to rise instead of rest. When you wake up and put in the work, something changes in you. You start to feel pride instead of guilt. You start to see progress instead of problems. You begin to realize that you're not just chasing a dream, you're becoming the kind of person who can live it. That transformation doesn't happen in your sleep, it happens in your struggle. It happens when you force yourself to do the uncomfortable thing again and again until it becomes who you are. The alarm clock may wake your body, but discipline wakes your potential. The truth is, everyone has dreams, but not everyone wakes up for them. Most people choose comfort over calling and then wonder why nothing changes. But those who rise with the alarm, those who show up no matter how they feel, they're the ones who make their dreams real. The world doesn't belong to the dreamers, it belongs to the doers who used to dream. The ones who understood that dreams sound good until the alarm clock rings, and that's when the real work begins. Nobody's coming to rescue you, it's your grind or your graveyard of potential. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. We grow up waiting for someone to notice our struggle, to see our talent, to give us a chance, to pull us out of the fire. But life doesn't work like that. Nobody is coming. Nobody's going to knock on your door and hand you success. Nobody's going to save you from your own laziness, your own fear, or your own excuses. You have to be your own hero. You have to rescue yourself through your grind, through your work, through your relentless determination. If you don't, your potential will die with you, buried under a mountain of what-ifs and somedays. Every day you wake up, you have a choice, grind or give up. Nobody's forcing you to stay the same, but nobody's stopping you from changing either. The problem is that most people wait. They wait for permission, for perfect timing, for support, for motivation. They wait so long that their dreams expire. Life doesn't owe you a rescue plan. It offers you opportunity, but it demands action. You can either step up and grind for the life you want, or you can step back and settle for the life you get. And settling is slow suicide for your potential. The world is full of people who had the talent, the intelligence, the heart, but they lacked the drive. They waited too long for help that never came. They waited for someone to validate them, to believe in them, to invest in them. But nobody's going to invest in someone who won't invest in themselves. If you can't fight for your own future, why should anyone else? Your grind is your proof. It shows the world that you mean what you say, that you're not waiting for handouts, that you're willing to earn it. You don't need saving. You need to start. There's a difference between people who talk about change and people who create it. The talkers want sympathy. The doers want progress. The talkers want someone to listen to their story. The doers want to rewrite it. You can either keep telling people how hard your life is or start showing them how strong you are. The grind doesn't care about your past, your pain, or your circumstances. It only responds to effort. You don't escape the struggle by complaining. You escape it by working. You don't need a savior. You need a strategy. Nobody's coming to wake you up in the morning. Nobody's coming to drag you to your dreams. Nobody's coming to remind you why you started. That's your job. That's your responsibility. If you want to change your life, you have to take ownership of it. Stop blaming your parents, your boss, your environment, your luck. The moment you take full responsibility for where you are is the moment you gain the power to change it. As long as you wait for someone else to fix your situation, you stay powerless. There's a graveyard full of people who had potential but never activated it. They had dreams, but they never put in the work. They had ideas, but they never took action. They waited for help that never came. Don't let that be you. Your potential is priceless, but it expires without action. Every day you waste is a day your dream fades a little more. The grind is what keeps your potential alive. The grind feeds it, sharpens it, and turns it into something real. Without it, your potential is just a ghost haunting your future. You can't depend on luck. You can't depend on anyone to hand you opportunities. You have to create them. You have to hustle for them. You have to make yourself so undeniable that the world can't ignore you. That's the power of the grind. It makes people pay attention. The grind speaks louder than words, louder than excuses, louder than fear. Every rep, every late night, every moment you choose progress over comfort is a statement. I'm not waiting for rescue. I'm building my own ladder. Life doesn't care about your excuses. It only respects your effort. The world doesn't reward the ones who wait. It rewards the ones who work. Every successful person you know had moments when they were alone, broke, scared, and unsure, but they didn't stop. They didn't wait for someone to lift them. They lifted themselves. They built their dream brick by brick through discipline, patience, and persistence. And that's exactly what you have to do. You don't need a hero. You need habits. You don't need luck. You need work ethic. There's a dangerous lie people believe that someone out there is responsible for their success. That one day, the right person will show up, the right opportunity will appear, and everything will fall into place. That's fantasy. The truth is that nobody's coming. You are the opportunity. You are the one who has to move. You are the one who has to build momentum. Once you start grinding, once you start showing consistency, life begins to open doors. But those doors don't open for people who sit and wait. They open for people who knock relentlessly. The grind doesn't just change your results, it changes you. It builds a version of you that's stronger, smarter, and tougher than you were yesterday. It forces you to grow beyond excuses, beyond laziness, beyond weakness. Every time you choose the grind over comfort, you're proving that you're worthy of your dream. You can't become great without pressure, and you can't develop pressure without effort. The grind creates that pressure. It breaks you down and rebuilds you into someone unshakable. You have to stop looking around for help and start looking within. The strength you need is already there. You just haven't demanded it from yourself yet. You've got to dig it out through work, through repetition, through consistency. The grind is your teacher. It doesn't hand out participation trophies, it hands out transformation. You'll bleed for it, you'll sweat for it, you'll sacrifice for it, but in the end, you'll earn something that can't be taken from you. Pride, power, and purpose. The truth hurts, but it also sets you free. Nobody's coming to save you, but that means nobody can stop you either. You are the solution. You are the answer to your own prayers. You are the one who can rewrite your story. It's your grind or your graveyard of potential. One will make you, the other will bury you. Every day you wake up, you decide which one it's going to be.